Let's roll to the Big 12 for a couple of games. Here we go.
Yes.
Iowa State and Baylor.
Mm.
Okay, let me give you some numbers. You ready?
Good. Yeah, I'm ready for this one.
This is top 2 defenses in yards per play. Iowa State is number 1.
In the country?
In the country. Yards per play. Number 1 for Iowa State. Okay.
Wow.
Number 2, Baylor. Say hello to Baylor making a resurgence. But to your theme of the week, Baylor's schedule so far, Texas State, Texas Southern, and Kansas.
Do you know Texas State's nickname?
Yeah, that'd be the Bobcats. Coached
How
by
do you
Jake.
know this stuff? I have all these things written down. You know these things?
Coached by Jake Spavital. Thank you.
You know the coach too?
Yeah,
I picked the right guy to do this show with. Newbie, this guy got all the answers. I love it. He don't even have to look it up. So, all right, so they're 3-0. Number 2 in the country defensively. That's a trash schedule. Trash. They're 7-point home dogs. We love home dogs on 8 in the box. But do we like this home dog?
It's a home dog getting 7 points. You're right. They haven't played anybody. It is year 2 under Dave Aranda. So you do expect them to make a jump from what you've seen last year. The challenge here with Iowa State is just simply this. Listen, they are loaded. There's a reason they were a top 10 preseason team. Now, they couldn't get over the Iowa hurdle yet again. Matt Campbell cannot beat Iowa, hasn't beaten Iowa since he got there. But, man, they have got players. They've got 20-plus starters back. They got Brock Purdy, a 3 or 4-year starter at quarterback. Breece Hall, one of the best running backs in the country. They can't seem to get it going. Turnovers have been the problem, specifically with Purdy. All right, so that's what you're trying to handicap. Those eventually balance out during the season, right? You eventually regress to the mean. They have had turnover problem. They have had red zone turnover problems, but they haven't shown they can be that high-flying offense yet because of that. That's a lot of points to overcome, but if you're going schedule strength so far, do you lean with that Iowa State game? Iowa State was right there. If they don't turn it over in the red, let me give you some. Hold on here. Can I give you some numbers against Iowa?
Please do it.
Iowa State held the Hawkeyes. Now, this is a loss. Iowa State lost to Iowa. Held them to 106 yards passing and 1.7 yards per carry on the ground and lost the football game.
Wow.
Yes. Now, we talk about Iowa every week because we've hit their under 2 of the 3 weeks we've been playing.
Right.
So their offense isn't going to be lights out, but it was red zone turnovers for Iowa State that caused the problem. Iowa State goes out to your neck of the woods. They were in your backyard. You could have scouted them live against UNLV. They
brought all the people, man. They were everywhere. I was down on the strip. They were packed. I never saw so many Iowa State stuff. It was they were everywhere.
That's what they do. They bring it. They travel well. They've got a great fan base.
Are they going to Baylor?
Well, they probably won't go to Baylor. No, their trip was Vegas. They're not going to travel 2 weeks in a row. They took they loaded up on Vegas. They'll wait till you come back to Ames before they get re-engaged. Okay. They're 7-point home dog. Number 1, do you like that? And number 2, can you get in on an under here? Can you play a little under? Are they going to try and is Iowa State going to try and limit Brock Purdy if they don't need him and run the ball? We know that Baylor has 2 dynamic backs, Treston Ebner being one who also returns kicks. Is this an under game? The total's not very high, 47.5 or so. Side total either.
It's got to be the lowest total in Big 12 history, at least recent Big 12 history. You got a total in the 40s. I thought it was wrong when I first saw it, but now you give me these defensive statistics, and I'm like, okay, makes a little bit of sense. I still would lean over. This got to be, man, I feel like you with all this chalk, but this got to be Iowa State's get-right game. They start the conference schedule right now. This season starts. They lost the Iowa game. All right, we're not undefeated, but we can win the rest of our games starting with this one. I don't know. I think the turnovers we can't handicap. I told you. Once we figure that out, we're going to be done doing media. We're going to be betting, and we can retire. The kids will be set. Little house, little consigs, little share pants. We'll be all good. But until then, you just don't know. I think Iowa State, man, it's 3 games, 3 chalks. I'm laying it. That's a side for me.
You're taking a road favorite again. Did we switch bodies here? What's happening?
I don't know what the hell happened, but it's true. I mean, these things you talk about the turnovers kind of regressing to the mean and evening out. So do these home dogs. It's not an automatic every week, but the situation leads it to, at least this week for me, I like Iowa State.
One last thing to help you. Baylor 2-5-1 against the number in its last 8 conference games. But
Good.
that was last year, first year under Dave Aranda, so maybe that doesn't mean as much. All right, let me go back to the under for just a second, and then we'll move on. These two teams are 7th and 8th nationally in opponent plays per game. So slow pace so far for both. Big sample size. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Iowa State, 35-15-2 in its last 52 games. That's to the under. 35-15-2. 8-2-1 in its last 11 as a road favorite to the under. Let me give you Baylor. 15-7-1 in its last 23 to the under.
Oh boy.
A lot of under.
That's
now,
why
last
this
year,
total's what it is. That's why.
Last year, 38-31, Iowa State won this. There was some offense that broke out in this game, but these have been under teams. Defense may be at a premium. All right, but you're taking the side. You're on Iowa State to get right.
We're going over to the hell with all those numbers. We're going over.
I don't know why I prepare all these numbers. You're just in here just throwing stuff out there. You just took my trends and said, get out of here with the trends. I'm going over.
Sometimes those trends are not your friends. Sometimes they are, but sometimes, we can't be friends. Those trends,